All right, so get this. Somebody sent us a story about a retired clockmaker, a secret garden, and time travel.
Time travel.
Yeah, time travel. We're gonna dive deep into Silas Thorne and the Time Garden, and I got to tell you, this is one wild ride.
Time travel in a garden.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got my attention. This sounds like we're going to be talking about memory choice and maybe even a bit of magic today.
Oh, there's definitely magic. We're talking flowers that hold memories and a mysterious bud that whispers about different futures.
Wow. Okay, hold on. I'm already curious about this clockmaker Silas. A life spent measuring time surrounded by ticking clocks? I mean, what kind of man does that make?
Right. The story paints this picture of Silas as this quiet guy, hands rough, from years of working with these tiny gears and springs, living in a cottage that's like practically hidden in mist. You can almost hear the clocks ticking.
It makes you wonder if his obsession with the mechanics of time maybe led him to this hidden garden, almost like he was destined to find it.
Yeah, and the way he finds it, it's straight out of like a mystery novel. There's this hidden door in his garden wall covered in ancient ivy and the key, buried under a sundial.
Hold on, wait, a sundial. That's not just a random detail, right? I mean, it's like the oldest way to measure time using the sun itself. It's like time is literally giving Silas a key to unlock its secrets.
Okay, you're blowing my mind here. So he opens a door and boom, it's not your typical garden. This place is like bursting with flowers and colors you wouldn't believe. And each bloom holds a specific memory. Like imagine a violet chrysanthemum that smells exactly like fresh baked bread, taking Silas right back to his mother's kitchen.
Our sense of smell is so powerful, it can like transport us back to specific moments in time like nothing else. I bet you have a scent that like instantly brings back a vivid memory.
Oh, I do. Okay, back to the time garden. It's not just smells either. There are flowers that are shaped like bells that chime with the sound of Silas's children laughing. It's like he's surrounded by living, breathing memories.
That raises a really interesting question, though. Is this garden real, or is it all just a metaphor for how our minds work? Maybe Silas isn't literally walking through a time-bending garden, but taking a journey through his own memories. What do you think?
That's a really good point. The story's a little fuzzy on the details, but either way, there's this one flower that's totally different from the rest. A single, unopened bud, pulsing with energy. And get this, it's not about the past. It whispers about futures that could have been different paths Silas could have taken.
Whoa, so we're talking alternate realities now.
Hmm.
This garden isn't just about reliving the past, but maybe glimpsing different possibilities. That's a whole other level of mind-blowing.
Right. And for a guy who spent his whole life fixated on time, imagine the temptation to like mess with that bud to see what might happen if he pruned it a certain way. Talk about playing with fire.
But that's not what he does, is it? He chooses to just care for the garden, leaving that bud untouched. Almost like he's learned something about accepting the way things are, even the paths he didn't take.
There's a real sense of peace in that, right? Like not dwelling on what might have been, but appreciating what is. But wait, there's a twist. As Silas is looking at that unopened bud, a new flower suddenly blooms right next to it.
Oh, I see where this is going. This isn't some alternate future, but his present unfolding it naturally.
Right.
Maybe the time garden isn't about manipulating time, but about finding beauty and meaning and how it flows.
It's like the garden saying, hey, you're right where you're supposed to be. But what's really fascinating is that this new flower, it represents a love that's blossomed in Silas's life. And remember those flowers forming a heart shape we were talking about? Well, guess what this new bloom is right in the center of it.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's like the time garden isn't just about Silas's past and potential
Yeah.
futures, but also reflecting like the present moment and this love that's blooming right now in his life.
Exactly. And it makes you think, does Silas's acceptance of his past and present somehow make this love possible? Did tending to his time garden with all its memories and possibilities help him open his heart to this new love?
It's an interesting thought, right? Maybe by confronting those what-ifs and accepting the path he's taken, Silas is free to experience love more fully in the present.
I like that it's like by letting go of the need to control time, he's actually creating space for something new and wonderful to happen. This story's so deep.
It really is. And I think it speaks to something we all struggle with. Accepting the choices we've made, embracing the present moment, and allowing the future to unfold naturally. Think about it. Are we so busy chasing what-ifs that we miss the beauty of what's right in front of us?
Oh, that hit me right in the feels. And speaking of things right in front of us, the story mentions that people who visit Silas's house, they start to notice things. They catch a whiff of impossible flowers or hear the chime of bells even though they can't see the time garden. It's like Silas's peace and acceptance are like radiating outward.
That's a powerful reminder that our inner state can affect the world around us. Silas isn't trying to show off his time garden or change anyone, but his beauty and magic seem to seep out anyway. It's a subtle but profound message. Our energy matters.
Okay, so I gotta ask, what kind of energy are you putting out into the world? Are you stuck in the past dwelling on regrets? Or are you present and open to new experiences? New love, even?
That's a great question, and honestly one we should all be asking ourselves. Because whether we realize it or not, we're all tending to our own time gardens, shaping our realities through the choices we make and the energy we bring to each moment. Silas's story is just a beautiful reminder of that.
And this is what I love about this deep dive. It's not just a fun fantasy story. It makes you think about your own life, your own choices, and how you're navigating this whole time thing.
Absolutely. And it challenges us to consider, are we like Silas, learning to appreciate the journey, both the paths taken and the ones left unexplored?
That's a deep question. What do you think? Is it possible to truly appreciate where you are now without getting hung up on those what ifs and coulda beens?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's like we have two gardens to tend. One that represents our lived experiences filled with blooming memories and maybe a few thorns representing those tough times. And then there's this other garden of unrealized dreams, those unopened buds of possibilities.
I love that analogy. Two gardens, huh? So the question becomes, how do we tend to both without getting overwhelmed? Do we prune away those what ifs, or do we let them bloom alongside our memories?
What's interesting is that maybe it's not about choosing one garden over the other. Perhaps it's about accepting that both exist within us and finding a way to integrate them into a whole. Imagine weaving those different threads of time, the past, present, and potential futures, into this beautiful tapestry.
Ooh, I like that. A tapestry of time. That's a much better image than two separate gardens. Because even those paths not taken have shaped who we are, right? They're part of the fabric of our lives.
Exactly. And that tapestry is constantly evolving, just like Silas's time garden. New memories bloom, old ones might fade a bit, and those unopened buds, those what-ifs, they continue to whisper their possibilities. It's a dynamic process, and our relationship with time is always shifting.
This is so mind-blowing. It's like you said earlier, we're not static being stuck in time. We're constantly changing, growing, and creating new experiences that will eventually become part of our own personal time tapestry.
I love that time tapestry, stealing that. And it brings us to a really interesting question for you, dear listener. If you could capture a single memory in a flower, what would it be? What scent, sound, or feeling would you preserve in those delicate petals?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm already thinking about mine. But hold on, there's more. We've talked about the memories. But what about those unopened buds? If you had a time garden, what possibilities or dreams would tempt you? What paths would you be curious to explore, even knowing that some things are best left to unfold naturally? It's like those unopened buds, they just call to you, don't they? But sometimes those most beautiful blooms come from the scenes we never even thought about planting.
It's true, life often has a mind of its own. And sometimes those paths we don't take, they lead us to even more incredible destinations. It
Yeah.
reminds me of that Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's all about the choices we make and how they shape our journey.
You're bringing up all the deep thoughts today. But really, this whole idea of a time garden, it's not just a fantasy, is it? It's like a metaphor for how we actually live our lives.
Absolutely. Every decision we make, every relationship we nurture, every moment we experience, it's like planting a seed in our own personal time garden. And just like Silas, we have a choice in how we tend to it.
So what are we really learning from Silas and his time garden? Is it about accepting the past, embracing the present, trust to the future? Or is it even bigger than that?
I think it's all of those things, but it's also about recognizing the beauty and the power of time itself. You know, Silas dedicated his life to understanding like the mechanics of time, but it's in the time garden where he truly seems to grasp its essence.
It's like he finally understands that time isn't just something to be measured and controlled, but something to be experienced and cherished. He learns to appreciate its natural flow, the way it weaves together the past, present, and future into this like intricate tapestry.
And that's a lesson we can all take to heart, right? We can't stop time, we can't rewind it, and we can't fast forward through the tough parts. But we can choose to be present in each moment, appreciating the beauty of the unfolding story of our lives.
Wow, you're making me want to go plant something. But before we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listener who sent us this incredible story? What should they take away from this deep dive into Silas Thorne and his time garden?
Well, first off, thank you for sharing this amazing story with us. It's really sparked a fascinating conversation. And to our listener, I'd say this: embrace the time you have, cherish the memories you've made, and don't be afraid to nurture those unopened buds of possibility. Your time garden is waiting to be cultivated.
Beautifully said. This has been a truly mind-bending deep dive full of heart mystery and some serious food for thought. Remember, whether you're a clockmaker or a time traveler at heart, the power to create a beautiful and meaningful life is always in your hands.